Everyone. Good morning. Just need to make a couple of adjustments. We've got some finagle things are being finagled around here. Instagram and Facebook together. So we'll see how this goes. Lighting some of my dragon sage as I do. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Caryn, episode 24, I believe. And today we are going to be talking about entitlement versus authority and how in this day and age of politicians being in Twitter wars and millennials making demands on the UN and leaders trying to create teams and then wondering why no one's showing up. I thought it was really important to kind of talk about this idea of entitlement versus authority, because we don't like the word authority. Most of us who are game changers, leaders, it's very, see what I mean? It's very ironic that those of us who want to be in leadership positions tend to actually have a big problem with leadership, with authority. So it's really an ironic thing that ends up happening. Say hi when you jump on. I can't wait to see. I know I have so many new friends and so many new followers. So for those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Caryn Terrace, and I am a leadership and super conscious mentor. So what that means is that I teach you how to really step into that fearless, authentic leader that you were born to be, to make the change that you want to make in the world, using metaphysics and neuroscience and somato-emotional releases to be able to bring yourself into a 0-point calibration where your future self and your past self are so aligned with the vision that you're creating that it's just inevitable that it's going to happen. You know, my clients sometimes are like, you kind of turned me into Midas, but in a good way. So everything that they touch turns into gold, but without all the, like, you know, killing your daughter thing. Hi everyone. So I have to go like this to be able to read comments because my phone, I'm trying to get Instagram. Let's see if that works. I'm gonna have to figure out something for next week. This is so funny. Those are Indian gods. Yeah, those are Indian gods. So we've got Shiva and Instagram. You guys can't see them so well, but we've got Shiva and Ma Durga. They are two guides that I've been working with for several years at this point. So if you guys came into my house, you'd be like, what religion is she? Because we are totally non-denominational. We teach our children about magic and the universe and science, and we're constantly watching the NASA channel or National Geographic or some sort of documentary about the ancient world, teaching them, you know, right now they're literally watching storybots on how computers work. My kids just, they learn everything. Hey, April. Yeah, because it's all the same. So that's something that I talk about a lot for those of you who don't know me, who haven't been around on my channel for that long. I talk about how there really is no such thing as intellectual property. It's all the property of the universe. And once you reach, it's what the law of attraction is really trying to teach you, is that once you reach a certain level of vibration, you're all of a sudden aware of all of these things that have actually always existed. Have you ever like learned something in a new book that you just read and you're so excited to teach your friend or your husband, and then you go and tell them and they're like, yeah, I actually already knew that. And then you kind of feel like, oh, well, it was actually a really big deal for me. I didn't know that. So that's just like you reaching the same vibrational level. So that's what everything is. Like when you start reading stories, when you start reading texts from, you know, 2 millennia ago or 5 millennia ago, and you're able to like piece together what archaeologists have done all around the world, and you're like, that's interesting that over here and over here and over here around the same time, they're all talking about the same thing that also correlates with like an astrological event that scientists can now know happened as well. So it's really awesome when you're able to start putting these pieces together, right? And that has to do with being the authority in your life. So let's jump right in. Why is this called Who Will Grind My Wheat With Me? It's because these two books are like the fan favorites in my house. The Little Red Hen and Pancakes. Pancakes. I actually never read this book as a kid. It was only once my middle son was born that he got a whole bunch of Eric Carle books one year for his birthday, and we started reading this book. And I realized that Jack is like the least entitled kid on the whole planet. And the little red hen is also not very entitled, but all of her friends are fucking entitled. So, they're beautiful. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they are really pretty, right? So entitlement is when you don't have to do the work. Okay, let's just get that right out there. Entitled is what most people are when they're trying to use manifestation. Let's be honest. You want there to be a magic pill. You want there to be a super secret sauce. You want there to be a top secret formula for you to get whatever it is that you want in your life. So a lot of people come into my space as a metaphysician, as a super conscious mentor, and they want me to teach them spellcasting. And they want me to tell them which crystals are going to magnetize the most money to them. And they want to know which meditations they should be listening to every day so that they're so that they can attract them. But they don't want to listen to meditations every day. They want the ones that they can like sleep at. They go to sleep at night, and when they wake up, there's going to be $10,000 in their bank account, right? Those people are entitled to their manifestations. They feel entitled. They feel that the fact that they just exist means that they should get what they want. You see this a lot in leadership, especially leaders who try to motivate their teams versus trying to inspire their teams. So the best example is Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. became Martin Luther King, like the famous person that we know, because of a small meeting in his hometown in Alabama, where they were discussing the fact that we really had a problem with race and inequality, and how are we gonna, Selma, that big march that happened, and they're trying to coordinate it, and this reverend, so he at least was a reverend, right? So every leader, for the most part, even if they never wanted to be a big superstar leader, they still that's why I say be the leader you were born to be. Like, he was still a reverend, right? Like, he still had already been exposed to being a leader, right? To being the face of his church, of, the pastor and all of that. So, but he didn't want to become this celebrity that ended up being interviewed and, eventually giving his life to this cause. That was never his, like, he didn't wake up one morning and be like, you know what, I think that I'm going to go become a martyr. That's not what his goal was. He became the authority on a subject. So authority, I don't want you to think like authoritarian. I don't want you to think like the totalitarian mom, the screamer, the yeller, the one that like, it's my way or you're grounded for 90 days. That's not what I mean by authority. Authority is like, sorry, my kid just came upstairs and my husband's supposed to be in charge. So, hold on a second. So authority, meaning like I'm the authority in this field. So I am if you guys want to know about how to mix your magical and your mundane to create miracles in your life, that's me. I am the authority in creating a life that you love so much that you can't dream of a different life, because the life you are living is your dream life. They become one. That's why I say we calibrate you into a 0-point calibration, where you are living your dream life. You are living your highest potential. You are living everything that your little childhood self could ever imagine, plus and beyond. I'm super amused right now because my husband really is supposed to be watching my kids. He's usually really good about it. I meditate and do affirmations too every day. So here, perfect example. If you actually do the work, that's doing some work, right? That's doing work, no longer making you entitled to your vision, okay? When you are entitled, so let's just review. Do we remember the little red hen, everybody? Do we remember what happens in the little red hen? Let's just review, right? The little red hen, she finds a piece of grain, okay? She finds some grain and says, I'm going to plant it. And then she goes to all of her friends and says, who will plant this wheat with me? Come on, guys. We all live together on this farm. I found some wheat. Like, let's do that. And what happens? Not I, says the cat. Not I, says the pig. Not I, says the goose. Not I, says the duck. And she's like, okay, fine, bitches. I'll just go ahead and plant that wheat myself. And she plants her wheat, right? And the summer goes by, and it's time to harvest. And she says, who will weep this wheat with me? Not I, says the pig. Not I, says the duck. Not I. So what are they doing? They just want to play all summer, right? They don't want to do any of the work. They don't want to plant. They don't want to weed. They don't want to garden. So that's like wanting to build a nonprofit or a new business and not wanting to do any of the paperwork, right? I've been hinting at it all week. I hope you guys have noticed that my posts all week long have been hinting at all the different ways that you are actually being entitled to what you desire instead of becoming the authority and creating it. Because when you're in authority, you make the rules, right? That's why we all have a problem with authority, is because we don't like their rules and we want to make up our own rules. But we forget that the only way to become the person who makes the rules, there's really only a couple of ways. Unfortunately, Martin Luther King Jr. is another example, like, get assassinated. But that's not, I don't think that's like anyone's goal, right? Nobody like goes out, like, maybe Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc most likely knew she was going to die doing what she was doing. But besides that, I bet she probably didn't realize she's going to burn at the stake. She probably thought it was going to be in battle, right? You know, so, but she was still the authority. Joan of Arc is the perfect example. She's the person I quote all the time when I say, like, I was born to do this. That is a Joan of Arc quote, meaning she didn't understand it. She was 13 years old, started seeing Archangel Michael, hid, ran away, tried to like hide on her farm for 4 years. And finally, when she was 17, was all like, fine, okay, fine. I've done the inner work. I've come to peace. I'm not fucking crazy. This archangel really wants me to do this. We've been at war for almost 100 years. And she, in 3 major battles, this 17-year-old to 19-year-old French girl beat all of the English army. And at the very end was betrayed by her best friend to the English. And then her crime was cross-dressing. That's what they burned her at the stake for, by the way, was cross-dressing. There's a reason why, you guys, I give off a very androgynous vibe, is because that whole concept of male, female, that, like, it's such bullshit, especially when the point is the unity. The kundalini, the dragon energy, you guys, the creation energy, you can't create one without the other. So why we have to make it such a big deal of, like, male, female, this is my high masculine versus my low masculine, my high feminine versus my low feminine, blah, blah, like, no. You either have a masculine and feminine side that are disjointed, and so they're at war with each other and chaotic because they are the polarities, or you have them in unity with each other, which is the caduceus, which is that snake wrapping around what looks like a cross in all of the medical field, right? There's a fucking snake. Snake is, you know, that's the pleasure. That's the feeling. The snake really represents the 3D in the physical realm. Even Adam, like, they didn't have feeling. Like, they literally couldn't love each other because they didn't know what hating each other looked like. You can't love your husband without getting into giant fights with him sometimes, right? That's what polarity is. That's why you have these opposites, so that when they come together, they're so fluid. And it's that point that you have the authority, or, right? You're in authority at that point. You're the one in control of how your energy is going, versus an entitled little kid who wants something but isn't willing to do the paperwork, right? Or do the meditations. So I'm sure you don't just meditate and do affirmations every day, Daniel. I'm sure you do other things as well, because that's still very passive action. That's another thing that a lot of clients who come to me, they're like, I've been in all the Bob Proctors. I spent like $20,000 going through the Bob Proctor, law of attraction, blah, 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 blah. And I did so awesome. And now I've just like, they hit a plateau, okay? tons of people who come to me, they've hit a plateau, or they were really high and they're like starting to crash back down, and they're like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, see, here comes the husband. So, apparently he got into his brother's room. So what keeps happening? So you don't want to do in the summer, you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to file your paperwork, right? You didn't want to get your LLC. Maybe you don't have the $60 or something. Then she says, okay, who's going to come grind the flour with me? Who's going to bring the flour to the miller to go grind it? Which is what leads us to pancakes here in a second, right? The little red hen and Jack are like the same character, right? No, not I. Okay, so who's going to make this wheat? Okay, guys, I planted it, I gardened it, did all this stuff, right? This is your coach that's like, okay, I've made this amazing program. I've marketed it. I've done all this stuff for you. All you have to do is press the $69 purchase button and show up. Okay, I've done everything else. All you have to do is press the button to pay for this 5-day course or this 3-week course or whatever. And all you need to do is then show up and do the work, aka show up and eat or show up, right? No, not I. I'm not gonna make the bread. I'm not gonna do that with you. I don't wanna pay the $60. I don't want to come and actually be on the live streams even though you've sent me a schedule. I don't want to actually go to the meeting to find out about when the board is meeting with that other really big investor. So like the really stupid fucking simple shit at this point, guys. The stuff that we still would rather do a spell. We'd rather say some affirmations. We'd rather do the easiest thing possible. Who will bake? Now she just wants someone to put it in the fucking oven for her. Okay, that's it. She just wants someone to put it in the oven. Not I. Not I. Will you just drop this off at the bank for me? That's like someone asking you on your way out the door if you would take an extra step, like an extra stop at the fucking bank for them. Because if you drop that bank off, it would actually mean something for you. But you're just like, no. Who will eat the bread with me? And everyone comes running, right? Everyone comes. I have the secret sauce to be able to give you a 6-figure month this month. I've got it right here. I did all this work. I did all this work to create it and prepare it, and I've done all of the inner work, and I've done everything. I've been working for the last month to get all this done for you guys. Oh, you just want it for free? Oh, you want me to just show up all the time and give my content away? Oh, you want me to just do the entire nonprofit myself, and then on the day of, I'm also like, I can't just sit there and eat my food and like enjoy myself? No. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to reap all the rewards of actually doing the work, of actually showing up to the live streams. So this chick is any one of you guys who, when you pay for one of those courses, there's only 10% of you, actually less than that. 10% of people who ever buy an online course will actually complete it, and even less than that actually complete it in the amount of time that was suggested by the person who created the course to begin with, okay? So you're looking at like, I don't know, probably like 7% of people who sign up for a 10-week course that's like all pre-recorded videos will actually do it in the 10 weeks. Or only 7% of people will come to your Facebook challenge or whatever and do it and show up to your lives and do your homework on time. Only 7% of the people who say they're going to donate to your election are actually going to donate at the time that they're going to. Like, it's crazy. There's a reason why in sales and in politics and in all of it that a lot of these things mirror each other. Yeah, it usually takes a politician a few times of their name being heard or being seen or sending out mailers before someone who's never heard of them before is going to make a donation to that cause, and probably even more to get them to actually vote for them. when it comes to nonprofits trying to get fundraisers, you're going to get a lot of people who, when you're talking to them at the mall, is like, oh yeah, absolutely, give me that envelope, I'll send a check. I know this sounds super 90s because I just said mall and check and all sorts of stuff. But only 7% of them are going to actually end up sending you money like they say they're going to. Sorry, Instagram, you're like getting really close and I'm not comfortable with it. There we go. So that's like the entitled people. That's all of this. This is the entitlement. This is all the people that are signing up for the $5, for the, oh, you have a $10 thing. Okay, I'm just going to buy that. How many of you have that? Like, give me some hearts or some like, hell, even some angry faces. If you have a freebie graveyard or an under $50 graveyard of things that you bought that were under $50 that were supposed to be for your betterment, either to help you learn how to do your own taxes, learn how to speak in public better, how to get 5 clients in a week. Like, how many of you guys have what I call a freebie graveyard? Huh? I do. I'll admit it. I got all sorts of things that are just sitting there. Hi, everyone. Look at all these people. Hi, everyone. I like can't see you, so if you've been commenting, I haven't seen any comments, so if you comment, hopefully I can see those better now. Okay. Okay, so that's the entitlement. The entitlement comes from, let's do a little exercise, okay? A little exercise that we can do is I want you to think about the goal that you have right now, okay? So let's make this really easy. Your goal is that you want to have, let's see, for leadership, you want to have like 5 new, no, you want to have a solid team, okay? You're a leader and you have a message and you're trying to send it to the world, and right now it's just like you against the world, and you want to create a solid like team of how people to take all the like back end shit that I just told you, right? All the work that the little red hen does that you actually don't care about doing, and in fact you probably don't really understand how to do a lot of that paperwork or a lot of that, but you have to learn how to do it right now because ain't nobody else going to do it for you. I want you to imagine, like, just think about it. Think about the paperwork that you know that you're supposed to be doing right now. Think about the things that you're putting off and put it, like, feel it in your body. So some of you are feeling it like in your heart, and what that means, like when you feel it in the front of your chest, you feel like a constriction. That's you not actually believing that your voice, your message, the thing that you want to be a leader for is worthy of you doing the work. So you're just constricting. So this, when something hurts in the front of your heart and it makes you go like this, it's because it's you not feeling that you are worthy of giving to the world. Okay, so you have an open chest and straight shoulders, your voice is open, chin is just like a little bit up and back, and you know, singer's position. There's a reason why opera singers all like stand in the same way. It's because it gives them the most support so that they can project and they don't need to be mic'd, right? A great leader is able to be heard in the back of the room even if the mic cuts. You have to have that strength in that core. The core of your body is the core of your message. So if you can't support your own body with your core by being able to take a deep breath and project without screaming and being scary, project your message to the back of the room so that everybody in the entire Coliseum, they did not have microphones back in Rome, right? And yet, we know from accounts of scribes exactly what was said at these events. So that means that person was in such authority that 10,000 people without a mic could hear them. Okay? And that's because that they knew at the core of who they were, Julius Caesar knew that he was the fucking emperor of Rome. Like, don't get me wrong, you got assassinated too. It's interesting how lots of people get assassinated. Not all of them though, right? Like Queen of England, the first one, she would have never been mic'd, and yet we have accounts of her speaking to the entire, you know, in Buckingham Palace, however many people fit in that space. microphone, like electronics, guys, you have to remember all this fancy shit, even that we're doing right here, is all so new. Leadership is not new. Leadership is not new. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Leadership is not new. It's not a new concept to be a leader. And yet, in this day and age, we are so entitled to be heard. I want my shit to go viral. Has anyone ever noticed that anyone who tries to go viral can never go viral? And it's always the people who really wish that shit didn't turn up on the internet that end up going viral, right? I mean, besides Justin Bieber, I don't know very many pop stars or anything that actually were discovered online. Like, if you can correct me, I'm not actually super into the popular culture. As you heard at the beginning, we tend to stick to the sciences and ancient civilizations, spirituality, and all of that. The entitlement comes from not willing to do the work, okay? It's if everything you've ever worked for, and this is something I have to work with my clients that are running multiple million-dollar companies, because this is an entitlement piece that is actually stopping them from being able to bust through that level where they can have enough turnaround where they can then expand and make even more change. So when you work with me, it tends to be when you're in a transitionary state. It's why I call myself the Dragon Doula. Actually, it's that birthing process. It's that time where you really need someone who is in authority that you trust to help you birth this baby, to help you bust through that level, to help you shatter that next level of the glass ceiling, whatever analogy works for you. It's why when you work with me, the longest container I even have is 4 months, because it's hard and dirty. It needs to be fast. There's not time to coddle you. You've probably been coddled for too long, and that's why you're stuck in the pattern that you're in, instead of being able to push through and see, no, my vision is worth it. I am the authority. I am willing to do whatever it takes no matter what, right? So what does that statement actually mean? I am willing to do, right? And then we take that do, and we're like, well, only the things I want to do. Actually, only the spells. I'll do the spells, and I'll do the affirmations, I'll go to yoga, and I'll be vegan, and then I'll be a millionaire, right? No, you're fucking entitled if that's how you think. If the only things you do are the things you want to do, then you're not willing to do whatever it takes, right? I am willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what, to achieve my dreams, right? And be able to look at yourself. Again, what do I love? Naked mirror mantras. So those of you who have been commenting that you do affirmations, may I suggest that you start doing them naked in the mirror now, instead of just saying them. Like, take your shower in the morning before, and don't do it, girls, ladies, even men. I know a lot of men do this, like, while they're getting dressed. No. Stop saying your affirmations while you're getting ready. Be naked. Completely naked, and just stand there and say your affirmations and see how they hit differently, and see if you actually believe them. Because I notice a lot of my clients, especially the ones who are trained to have the affirmations on their mirror, you're like putting on a face while you're saying, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am so powerful, and you're like putting on a fucking mask while you're saying these things. But at the end of a really shitty day where you didn't close the client that you wanted to, and your kids have been sick, and your spouse is super angry for whatever reason, and then you all of a sudden found out that your mom needs to get put into a home, or like all the shit that end up happening also simultaneously. We all know it, up-level sickness, or when the shit hits the fan, right when the big deal is going to go through. Like, every industry has their own term for it, but it's really like when you are trying to push through to the next level and you notice that everything seems to be against you. It's really the universe asking, like, well, is that what you want? It's like a trainer. Like, is that what you really want? So you have to be able to push through and say, no, I really am willing to do whatever it takes. I am willing to go through hell and back to create my dreams, because if I don't, and the reason why you have to do this is because so many people will just be like, no. If everything that was taken away from me, that I've already worked so hard for, was taken away from me, I would just kill myself. like the amount of times I've had that conversation with clients, guys, is not super shocking. I'm actually like, a whole section of my book is about the suicide code and how it's been imprinted into our DNA to have a backdoor of just self-checkout. I've talked about it before on live streams as well. But for those of you, again, lots of new people, what it is that when you imagine that your coaching business, that you are currently trying so hard to bust through to 7 figures, if all of that work you've done for the last 7 years was completely taken away from you, and your kids were taken, and your husband moved out, and like everything like that happened, and it was just you alone under a bridge, what would you do? And there's lots of people who try to attack me and say, you don't know what that's really like. Like, I do time travel. It's one of my specialties. I change timelines all the time. Like yesterday, I probably jumped through about 5 years. It's very normal for me to be able to time jump and also move the timelines into each other, because that's what I'm here to do. Show you that 0-point calibration is your higher self living in 3D. So you're completely and totally surrendering your human awareness to your higher self's plan. So you no longer feel entitled to manifestations. They're just inevitable. But that's because you are the authority in what you want. Okay? I'm the authority of knowing what my vision is, because I've gone through so many different timelines and been able to calibrate my belief system in so many spaces that I'm only working in this trajectory. So yes, I have absolutely been to the space and time where my husband has left me and I've lost everything. And I had to stand there with her and work through it. And eventually, she no longer will kill herself if that ever happens. It took a lot of work. But that's no longer an option. My operating system no longer has that program in it that says that if everything I lost would end in me committing suicide. And because that operating system doesn't exist anymore, my entitlement doesn't exist. I'm not entitled to shit. My existing does not entitle me to millions and millions of dollars. My breathing air does not entitle me to someone handing me over $1 trillion spiritual empire. However, my existing does mean that I have the power to take the actions to make those things happen. So let's move on to the second book. Pancakes, right? So we just went over entitlement with this one. Little Red Head's not entitled, but this book is less about the hen, right, and more about her friends. Let's be honest, those jerks. Now Jack has a dream. He wakes up one morning and he says, I'd like to have not just any pancake. He wants a big pancake for breakfast, right? Kikariki, go the rooster, right? I'd like to have a big pancake for breakfast. Jack's mom's already up and ready. And he says, Mama, I want a big pancake. So right here, he's like being kind of entitled, right? Like, Mom, I'm awake. Where's my pancake? I want my pancake. Give it to me. And she's like, I'm going to actually be a good mother and teach you, because I'm the authority in this house. And in this house, we have values, and we value doing hard work and earning what it is you desire. So, okay, babe, fine. You want big pancake? Great. We don't have any flour. And not only do we not have any flour, we don't live anywhere near a store, because this is like the 1800s, but we do live near a miller. So go take a sickle and cut as much wheat as the donkey will carry and take it to the miller. So this kid, probably like 11, 9, I don't know how old he is. He wants a big pancake. This kid he has a dream, okay? Jack has a dream of a big pancake for breakfast. And he knows he's not going to get it. He knows his mama ain't just going to give it to him. He knows he can't just go and play video games. He knows that he can't just go sit and meditate for an hour and then it's going to be done for him. No. He's got to go to the miller. He brings the wheat to the miller. And the miller spreads the wheat out on the ground and hands him a a flail, hands him a flail, and they begin to beat the wheat. Did you guys know? I didn't even know this is how they made flour until I read this book 4 years ago. Like, I didn't ever really think about how they did it. I am a city girl, and entitlement was a huge thing I had to get over, which is why I talk about it so much with my clients, because what are we always, for those of you in the coaching industry, we're always our own ideal client, right? So you go through what you grow through. Grow through what you go through. So they're beating it, and they do all this work, and then they get this, like, tiny, piddly, like, nothing amount, like, hardly any. All of the chaff, all of the straw is on the ground, and they get a small handful of grain from this wheat. And then they take the grain, and they pour it onto the millstone, and then they turn on the water wheel, and the water wheel starts going, and it grinds the grain down into flour. But he's not done yet. So that's step one. This is what I love about this book, okay? The first part, it's the best analogy, guys. I want you to think about this. Any project you've ever had, as a leader, as a coach, as a executive, as a nonprofit organizer, right? Any of that. You have an idea. It's a fucking brilliant idea. It's the best idea. You're in the board meeting and everyone's cheering, and oh my God, you're totally gonna get the promotion, and your clients are losing their freaking mind because of what you just announced that you're giving away or that you're gonna be doing next month, and blah blah blah. Oh my God, it's so good. I woke up from this dream. I just meditated. Like, I've been working, you know, a lot of my clients, they have guides and spirit guides or ET guides, extraterrestrial, or they're just like really in strong communion with the higher planes of consciousness that are trying to be created now. So they'll wake up from a dream and they just have, like, again, I have a dream. They have this brilliant idea and they go to the board and they tell them the idea, and it's just like so solid, and then they're like, okay, how are we gonna do it, right? You're like, fuck, okay. We have the why. We know what we're doing. We know why we're doing it. But how are we going to pull that shit off? That's why having a team is really helpful, right? Most of us leaders are the why people. We need our team of how people. But for now, while you're a single leader, while it's just you, you got to be it all. You just got to do and be it all. And then not feel entitled to a team. Know that you deserve a team because the work that you're doing is so important. The first 4 pages of this book, you need to get some flour, babe. Go cut it. Go smack it around. And then go grind it, okay? Like 3 of the pages is just getting the flour. It's just like any other project where the hardest part really is creating the plan, delegating it. See, like, Jack's a great delegator. Well, first of all, his mom's an awesome delegator because she's still doing shit around the farm while he's doing all the other stuff, right? But he delegates, like, he's going to the miller. The miller's helping him. Look at, that's his buddy. See? Jack's not doing that shit alone. He's not doing that alone. No. He's most definitely not doing it alone. He's right there with a buddy. And they make it into, see, so has an expert, has someone in authority. Jack doesn't know how to do that. Find someone who knows how to make it into wheat, and he does it, okay? Best fucking book for leadership, I'm telling you. So now you got your plan. You got at least one how person on your team, maybe 1 or 2. Still have that big vision. What's our big vision? I want a big pancake for breakfast, Mom. I want a big pancake for breakfast. I don't want a 6-figure year. I want a 7-figure year. I don't want to put 20 asses in the seat at this gala. I want 100 asses at the seat. I don't want to make a $1 million merger with that Japanese company. I want to make a $1 billion merger with that company, right? So everything that you're thinking, so many of us are taught to think smaller, like, okay, this is our big plan. What's the reasonable one? What's reasonable? Jack don't give a fuck about reasonable. He wants a big pancake for breakfast. Let's make a pancake. Now we need an egg. So he goes out. He happens to have some little bit of grain still in his pocket, and he puts it right there. He gives it to the chick, black hen. She goes into the hen house. Cluck, cluck. She lays an egg. Okay, Mama, here's the egg. Let's make a pancake. No. Jack's mother says, now we need some milk. So he goes out to the cow, and he milks her. Not many of us even know what that's like. Like, we have a farm here in the city, and I did that with the kids one time, and I was like, this is gross. It feels weird. I'm not a fan. And then I thought about how many millions of children in the world have ever milked cows or goats or any of the things that humans drink, right? We are so fucking entitled. Like, as a society, we're entitled, which is why someone like me has to bring it up. Because we are entitled as fuck already just for existing in the time and space that we do, which is why when we have to go fill out a form online to make our LLC, and that is too hard of work for us, you are entitled as fuck to your dreams, and you will never get them. You are attached to the manifestation instead of being detached, and you are unattached from doing any actual fucking work to get it. Doing a spell is great to give you the energy to do the fucking work. Like, the amount of people that are like, I'm going to win the lottery, and I ask them when was the last time they drove up to Evanston, because in Utah we don't have the lottery. When was the last time they drove up and bought a lottery ticket? They're just like, oh yeah, I need to buy one of those. Like, you can't even win the fucking lottery without doing something. Like, it's a game, right? Yesterday's post was about the game of life. You still have to roll the dice to play a game. You still have to put your chess piece, like move your chess piece. You take an action, you get a reward or a consequence. You take an action, you get a reward or a consequence. Meditating every day, doing affirmations every day, journaling until your brain is going to be blue, making 1,000 free courses, keeping your prices at under $20,000 for one-on-one. All of that shit is like constantly playing the practice round of a game, right? Do you guys remember doing that as a little kid when you'd be like, I don't know how to play this, can we play a practice? And you play with all the cards down the first time you learn how to play Go Fish or whatever, and then slowly, that's how you learn to be the authority of the game. You have to still learn it first. I'm not telling you that nobody's going to teach you it, right? Okay, so I'm sure that Jack, it's not the first time he's ever gone and milked a cow, right? He's like 11. Go milk the cow. So he's still doing work. Man, we're like halfway through. Okay, I got the milk. Now what? Now we need butter. So this is when you're like, okay, I got the sales page up, or let's see. Okay, so I've got the board meetings all set. I've got the investors lined up. I've got, Kathy's getting the donuts that day. You've got all of it set up, and then it's like coming to the meeting, and you forgot the actual proposal, or like you didn't actually do the proposal yet, right? You've done so much work, it feels like you've done so much, and you still have to do like a really hard task. Or like when you're doing a nonprofit gala and you sent out the invitations, you got the catering, you do all of that, and now you have to actually like go to the space and set up for the gala, right? I don't know how many of you guys have been to big galas like that before, but they're usually setting up from like, the gala's on Saturday, they probably start bringing shit in on Thursday afternoon, and they're spending all of Friday and most of Saturday getting the big space prepared for the big fucking party that's only going to last for 4 hours. That took like 5 months to plan for, that then took like a week of total stress to like execute, and then 48 hours of even more stress, and then you get to have your party, and then it breaks down and it's fine, right? But that's how these big amazing charity balls, all of them go the exact same. All of them are this: churn the butter, bitch. Have you guys ever churned butter? That's hard too. You're just sitting there, up and down, up and down, up and down. Your arms get tired. Like, you think grating cheese is difficult? Like, churn some cream into butter. Okay? And then when you're done doing that, oh, by the way, we also need some firewood for the fire. So then he goes and he chops some fire. He gets some wood from the wood pile. And then she says, go get some strawberry jam. So this is like that sweet, like, okay. And now go get your dress on for the gala. right? Now you can go start getting ready. So he gets the strawberry jam, he comes back upstairs, and she's got all the stuff. So he still isn't at the party, okay? This is getting dressed for the gala, right? You've planned the whole fucking thing. You've planned this amazing nonprofit gala. You've planned this amazing course that you're launching. You've planned this awesome merger that's going to occur, whatever it is. You guys, you know that I do leadership. It's very bespoke, and whatever it is, you know what it is that your dream is. I'm here to help you achieve it no matter what it is. That's why my analogies go all over the place. Leadership is its own niche. So this is you getting dressed for your gala, especially women and even men. I know you guys aren't used to wearing those penguin suits with the cummerbund and you got to do your hair, right? It's like I see the scene from Beauty and the Beast where they're both getting ready, right? And Jack's mom, the authority, she's been the silent authority this whole time. So you can kind of think of Jack's mom as like your spirit guides or your God, right? She's like whispering the things to do to you, and not the do for. She's whispering the things for you to do, but you still have to do them. So you take the flour that you ground and you get all this stuff and you put it in there. So it's like going, you have to find all this stuff. And then you crack the egg in it, and then you pour the milk on top of it and you stir it until there's no lumps. Then you put some butter in the pan, and then you ladle the pancake batter into the pan. Wait for it to get crisp on one side. So this is you getting your hair done. You're all dressed. Now you're still getting your hair done. You're still getting your makeup done. Flip. Then she slips the pancake onto the plate, spreads some strawberry jam on it, and oh mama, I know what to do now. Oh mama, now I'm at my gala. Oh mama, now I get my $1 million. Oh mama, now I'm hitting my consistent 6-figure months. Oh mama, now I'm the VP of sales. Oh mama, now I'm finally created my amazing nonprofit. You've done all the work, right? Like, this is honestly more like a story of on day one, you're like, I'm going to make a nonprofit and have an amazing gala as my launch for my nonprofit so that I have a whole bunch of money. And then you had to go through all of the bullshit paperwork, the 501c3, the tax paperwork, all of that stuff. You had to get a bank account. You had to do all of your filings. You had to get donors. You had to get a place to do it. You had to get all of it. And then you finally have your big gala and you have a whole bunch of money. And now what does he get to do? Like, this is just his breakfast. Breakfast. He did all that stuff before breakfast. Now he gets the whole rest of his day, right? So that's why I say I work with you when you're in a transitionary period, because now he gets to go play. You get to go have your big, amazing nonprofit that you worked so hard to create and to get all these investors in, and now go do the other work, right? Go do the work that your nonprofit set out to do. Go send those D's for Girls kits. Go get the meals to the homeless shelter. Go do all of that stuff, right? So it's not just like when you're an authority in your life, when you're no longer entitled, Jack looks like he's actually having a fuck ton of fun during this whole process, right? That's why you hear all the time people who, like, you meet them and you would think that their lives are like insanely busy and crazy. Like, I met John Shin, who's the guy who Crazy Rich Asians is about, that movie. I met him and he is like the happiest guy. He was pretty intense sometimes, but like just like so happy and just sweet and like caring and selfless, and you can tell it's because he really did grow up with nothing and now he has so much. He's like, my human needs are taken care of. Why wouldn't I continue to spread this? And I actually wake up every day enjoying what I'm doing, so it doesn't matter that I happen to work a 20-hour day today and only got 4 hours of sleep. I'm going to keep going through this event, get through it, and I'm going to sleep for like 3 days when I get home because I'm a multi-billionaire and I can, right? When you are connected so fully to your dream of having a pancake, when you are the authority in your life, you're like plugged into source. You're literally just like plugged in to the source of all power in the universe, and you can go like an Energizer bunny. And then eventually your project's going to be done. Eventually your course is going to be complete. Eventually the merger will have all the final dots on I's dotted, T's crossed, right? And then that's when you get to move on to your next project. And you will have worked with me through that so that you are able to use those tools for your next. It's why my clients tell me that I turn them into Midas. Because the skills that I'm teaching you are so freaking simple and so sustainable that you can transmute it to anything. I'm talking about coaches, I'm talking about C-suite execs, I'm talking about politicians, and I'm also talking about nonprofits all in the same live streams, because leadership is leadership is leadership, and leadership isn't any different than it really was in the times of Julius Caesar. It's, do you have your core message? Do you really know why you're doing what you're doing? Do you really have that fire in your belly that's going to keep it going, and you can create that steam and that passion and that heat that's needed to inspire a nation? Leaders inspire. They don't motivate. Entitled kids need motivation. Okay? I'm going to leave you with this little thing. If you need to be motivated to do your work, then you're entitled to your work. Okay? If you feel like you need to be motivated to do your work, that means you are entitled to the outcome. When you're in authority, when you just know that it's going to happen because you are going to do whatever, you are going to do whatever it takes, no matter what, for your vision to occur, then you are absolutely the one making the game plan. You're making the plan, you're running the play, you're the whole football team in one. And because you are willing to be the whole football team in one, the universe will send you other supporting players. Okay? It was right when I finally was like, screw it, I'm going to figure out the back end to my website. And I sat there for like 12 fucking hours on a weekend, like just racking my brain, watching YouTube video after YouTube video, trying to do all this embedding, crazy stuff. And like within 2 weeks, I found a VA who's been doing all of my graphics, who's been doing all of my, like, I sent her the copy, she makes my sales pages, she sets up all my back end stuff. I love her. Marikar, I fucking love you. My shout out to you. Okay? I had spent a year and a half not doing that stuff, and then wondering why when I would launch and whatever, it like wouldn't work because it didn't look professional and it didn't look nice, because I wasn't willing to put in the work to figure out how to do it myself. I just like wanted someone to do it for me. Same thing will happen. Like, I would love it if I could, whatever it is, like you write it down as what it is that you want, and you leave it as like, you know, I really like some bread. And you just wait and you wait and you wait for the universe to grow the wheat and to reap it and to grind it into flour and to make the batter and to bake the bread, and you just want to eat it. And that's like, it's never going to work. You will never ever manifest what you want by just doing manifestation rituals, by just sticking different crystals in your bra. And for those of you who have created great legacies already, who already have, that you're like, whatever, Caryn, like I'm not really into your hippie stuff, but I really like your energy. Go through the exercise I told you in the middle of this video, where you think about everything you've worked for, and if it was completely taken away from you, what would you actually do? What would you really do if everything you ever worked for was completely stripped? You've done so much inner work already. A lot of what I'm saying is laughable to some of you, and yet you've watched this far because you know on some level I've hit that nerve, because there's something that you know that you should have been doing that you haven't done that's going to help you break through that next level. You also realize that you feel really entitled to whatever it is that you're trying to create, because if everything was taken away from you, you'd be like, no, fuck it, I am not going to start over. I am not going to rebuild. No way. True leadership comes from that conviction of being an authority. I know exactly who I am. I am the leader of the free world. Whatever it is. I am the leader of my company. I am the leader of my nonprofit. I am the leader of my church. I am the leader of this cause. I am the leader of whatever. It's what you are. Who you are is who you are. Like when no one's around. Who are you? I'm Caryn Terrace. I am a mom of 3, politician to be, author, speaker. All of those are what I am, right? But who I am is Caryn Terrace. Plain and simple. You are never going to get me any different. And this is the thing that I teach the most. The reason why people come and pay me the money that they pay me is to learn how to do what I do, which is to be me 100% of the time. It doesn't matter who I'm with, whether it's my family or the governor, doesn't matter where we are, what we're doing. I absolutely am authentically me. I'm who I am 100% of the time. I don't know how to be any different, and it's because of what I was talking about, getting those timelines to merge. I don't have fears and anxieties. I'm not depressed and suicidal like I was. I'm not anxious taking Klonopin. I was able to get off all of my pharmaceutical pills, no longer have fibromyalgia. Like, you guys have heard these stories before. If not, feel free to watch any of my live streams because I've talked about it all before. The point is that when you take authority, when you take control of your life, I don't like the word control, but that's what it really is. It's taking control of your life, being the authority, being the authority in your life, being the singular deciding factor in your life. That means that you're in authority. Entitlement is when you're waiting to be saved. You're waiting for, one day my prince will come, or a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. Disney princesses are fucking entitled. They're waiting to be saved. Go save yourself. Just go save yourself. Go figure it out. You can do it. You are a leader in your industry for a reason. You watch 57 minutes of a live stream for a reason. Okay? So, yay. Thank you, everyone. We made it through. So I was going to make a special announcement. But I think I'm going to make you wait. Yeah. So if you want to know about the secret announcement that I was going to make at the end of this live stream, but I'm now thinking I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning. Make sure that you leave a comment below. I know, suspenseful. It's totally going to be worth it. It's going to teach you all about how to be that fearlessly authentic you who is in authority in your life. So if you want to know more, you want me to reach out and let you know, get a suit. You guys get it. You'll get a sneak peek before I actually announce it, because I was going to announce it to everyone, but I don't think I'm going to. No. So I love you all. Mwah. Great day. Woo.